For the past week, I have been journaling every single one of my trades, and it's been something. I won't lie, I will say that I have not been the best at keeping track of all of my trades on a day to day basis, and I know it's something that's going to need to change to become a successful day trader. So, in starting this channel, Beyond My Comfort, hi, my name's Maya. Um, I believe this to be a way where I can push myself to keep track of everything I'm doing so that I can reflect on the good, the bad, and how I can do better um, in the market. So, yeah, that is what's going to be happening today. It's going to be a little complex since the trades that I am taking are based on where I am with my knowledge of the stock market now and the method I have been using. I use ICT specifically. So yeah, that is what we're going to be doing. And then tomorrow I will be posting another video that will cover just the basics of where I started up until where I am now. And I plan on posting those types of videos every Saturday. So you'll see that as well. So going back to what we're doing today, I will be reviewing over all my trades and kind of running through my thought process. So yeah, you'll be hearing my thoughts on all that. Okay, so let me bring up my charts. Here we go. So starting with Monday, as you can see, I marked down certain levels. So you see where it says, your previous stay high, Asian high, and then Asian low, previous stay low. So these are the levels or key levels that I usually like to put in place and where I see the market, or I guess price action tend to target. And here you see these two vertical lines. One says 8:30, one's 11. So I do trade New York session, but primarily in the morning. So from like 8:30 to 11 is when I'll look at the charts. So yeah, so this is Monday. And as you can see, I usually start on the 4-hour time frame. Okay. I can find, oh yeah, this is right. This is correct. Okay, so I start on the 4-hour time frame, and as you can see, based on this, price action looks to be bullish. If you don't know what that means, it just basically means that price is moving up like this, and then bearish is basically where you see price action moving down. So from this, I can tell that we are currently moving up. Price is moving up the market. I always also check the 1 hour, and it looks the same for the 1 hour. So right now, before we get to 8:30, we could see that price is kind of consolidating this one area. So there could be a breakout during the open. But yeah, so after I get this analysis before 8:30, I then drop down to the 15-minute. And from the 15-minute, I basically just kind of wait it out. And as you can see, before 9:30, when the market opens, I really didn't see anything going on. Price was still consolidating for the most part. So I just decided to wait it out. I did end up losing that trade. I will say, as you can see, my target was up here. My stop loss was down here. And I shouldn't have even gotten in today. As you can see, like for the whole day, I was just like overlapping candles back and forth, back and forth. And when looking at the 5-minute, I saw this play. So I saw this fair value gap right here. I saw that on the 15-minute, price kind of wicked down and took out any liquidity that was resting down here. And then that was kind of my confirmation, like there might be a good trade. And if I'm being honest, this would have probably been a good trade, but price happened to just get me out before continuing up and hitting the target. So I think that was a good trade. I think my analysis at the beginning of the week could have been stronger. It wasn't until like the middle of the week where I looked at my bias from a different angle. Because I used to just focus on just looking at the 15 minute, the 5 minute, and then like yeah, the 2 minute through the 5 minute, and that was it. And that got me in trouble a lot. But back testing while starting on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, where I can get my initial bias, has really been helping me confirm, what I want to be doing for the day. So, like I said, because it was bullish for most of it, today I was looking to take longs. But as you can see, price, I placed a trade right here after this long, strong momentum upwards. This is when the stock market opened and waited for it to back test into this fair, not back test, waited for it to come back into this fair value gap and then continue upwards. And I thought it was going to hit my target, but we did get wicked out down here. And then that's when price decided to go back up. So it was overall, I believe this was a good analysis of what happened. I just ended up getting stopped out. So yeah, that was Monday. So let's look at Tuesday. Okay. So I have everything set up for Tuesday. So again, I placed my markers, the previous day high and low, and then Asian high and low. Let me actually get rid of this. Okay, there we go. And then again, we start on the 4 hour. Oh, I moved one. I'll fix that. But okay, so from the 4 hour, it looks like price is bearish overall. It's moving down for the most part. This might be I want to say this could be a potential pullback. Um, since we do just see like a long run of bullish action, but because for this is 4 hours, so for a majority of like the end of yesterday to today, we see a lot of we see price moving down for the most part. I'm just gonna set my bias for being bearish. And then for the 1 hour, it's kind of showing the same thing here. And we see like a break of structure here. So I would just go ahead and say that price is moving down. So yeah. So going on the 15 minute, I will say for today I had 2 losses, and I did break my rules. I try to only take one trade a day if I find a setup, and I let my emotions get the best of me, and I ended up taking 2 setups, which isn't the plan, but that's okay. I realized my mistake, hurt a little bit, but we're gonna move past that. So here is before 8:30. I think I accidentally moved. Yeah, I moved this. It should be here. Okay. So I said that my bias for the day is bearish, so I'm looking for shorts. And shorts just means that you're um looking to take a trade off of price action moving downwards. So let's look how this plays out. So as you can see, the first trade I put in here was a long, and I ended up getting stopped out, and I shouldn't have taken that anyway since I was supposed to be looking for shorts. So let's see how that turned out. So we're on the 15 minute and it's trending upward, and then right when the market opens is when I see, yep, that happened. So that's when I noticed, it went up and then it immediately tapped out at my stop loss. So that's unfortunate, but I understand now that the price action for the day was going to be bearish anyway. So, oops. And then I realized that and tried to get in again. Shouldn't have gotten again. I should have just set up a trade, like acting as if I was actually going to get in and just seeing if it played out in my favor. And it did, but I do end up getting wicked out here as well. So this also went against me. And that's because my stop loss was too low. So my stop loss was right here. And let me show you what I did. So I believe I did this on the 5-minute. Yep. So as you can see here, we get stopped out right here. And then it plays out and hits our target. So I believe this was done on the 5-minute. So let me go and show you that. So yep. So as you can see, price starts trending downward. So we have a high, a low, and then a lower high, lower low, lower low, and then just that same pattern. So I decided to get in on this one. So I see that we have a high here, and then we have our previous low that made the high. And as price is moving down, we have some good displacement between this low and this new low. And then we have a fair value gap in between there. I'm trying to think if I did this on the lower time frame, because this should be here, but I placed, or did I get in here? No, that is, okay. This is in the wrong place anyway, so I don't know what I was doing here. That is why it's important to start journaling. So basically what happened, I put my stop loss here, and I did a 2-to-1, and it would have hit if I just moved my stop loss up a little bit more. And I tend to have it right at the wick, and I know it's better to just have it a little bit above in this case, or just in general with any trade, because sometimes price likes to come back down and take out some liquidity before going the direction it was going to originally. So yeah, that got me out there. I'm okay with that. I understand that my bias was right initially, but I went against that and tried to take longs for the day when I should have been taking shorts. And then even though this was a good setup right here, I shouldn't have been taking any more trades for the day. But, if I stuck with my plan, I could have noticed that, this is a good setup and potentially made a good profit off of that. So, yeah. Let's move on to Wednesday. So, okay. So here is Wednesday. Wednesday, let's look at the overall bias. So let's start on the 4-hour. Everything's marked out. So it looks like we are, let me get rid of this again. It looks like we are, I want to say bullish. Yeah. There's strong momentum to the upside. So yeah, we have a little pullback here, but for the most part, we just see a lot of upward price action. And then on the 1-hour, yeah, it looks like we're just at a pullback right now. So I'm still just going to say that that we are bullish, and meaning we should be looking for longs. But obviously from the setup, we can see that I took a short. And again, that goes into saying, like, I was not really I still need to work on my bias. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, and that's why I'm trying to get better at journaling so I can explain this better or explain my reasoning better when I trade. So here, okay, so let's see how this plays out. This is the 15-minute. Okay, so we have some strong momentum down. I still think that is a pullback. Okay, and let's wait for the market to open. Okay. Okay, so market open, we usually going down. Okay, and then we go back up. Okay, as expected. Okay, so from my trade, as you can see here, I don't know where my fair value gap is. I believe what I most likely did. Yep, what I most likely did. I don't know where it went, but I saw this move. It tapped our previous day high and then bounced and closed below it. And so I put my fair value gap here. And then as you can see, we come down and then it taps back. Wait a second. Well, this is implying that I made money today, but I know I did not. I'm confused now. Okay. A little confused here. I mean, this would have worked out, but I know for this day I lost. What on earth? I'm gonna have to look back at that. But I know this isn't bad, but this also doesn't follow our bias. So what I would have done, it's kind of choppy right here, but if I were to have made any type of move, oh wait, the only thing I could see that happen that could have been a possibility of happening is that I wasn't able to get in on this one and ended up getting in somewhere here and then it hit my stop. So if anything, I believe that's what happened. Yeah, that makes more sense. And then I probably got out somewhere here. Okay. Which what I should have done is waited for a low. So like down here, let's go to the 15-minute actually. Here we see a low. And then price finally breaks above this point. And if it was within our parameters, then if it tapped back into it, then I would have taken that long. But since we did not, that would have been a day I just wouldn't have traded. As you can see, price is still going up. So yeah, that's Wednesday. And then our last day that we traded, which is Thursday. Okay, so let's look at the 4-hour. So the 4-hour. So the 4-hour also, we see that price is still bullish. So we're going up. Okay, let's look at the 1-hour. Still moving up. So 15 minute, let's play this out and see what happens. I did something a little differently on this day. As you can see, you see this like green area and this red area. So I used this tool right here, which is a fib retracement, and it basically splits premium versus discount within a certain level. So knowing that we are bullish, I'll show you how I use this. So let's play this out. Okay. Oh, wait, actually, let me set my levels as well to not do that. Previous day. Okay. There we go. Okay, so there are levels. Let's make this a little bigger. Okay, so as you can see, price moves down first. Okay, and then as we open, we see that big wick up. Let's go here. So as you can see from the fib retracement, this is considered our premium. Oops. This is considered our premium, and this is our discount. And so looking to take along, we want it to tap, we want the displacement to come up into our premium. And to set that out, I use the low and then the high from that broke this structure, this well, what's considered like a market structure shift, and then waited for it to test back into discount, and that is where I would want to find some type of for value gap or imbalance where I could enter in on. So I found that to be here. Yeah, found that to be here. And then here is our fair value gap. And then we are going to wait for it to tap back in. I believe what I did, which I actually, now that I'm looking at this, isn't correct. I should have used this fair value gap, but I use just anything below this level. So that's why you see my entry point is right at the like equilibrium level of that. So still, let's see if that's still gonna work. Oops. Okay. And yeah, so it hit it, but let me look at the 5 minute. So on the 5 minute, so here we see our premium and then a discount. So on the 5 minute, it would have been here. And this would have gotten us in. So we still profited off of that, but I still would have changed that. I should have had that down here. But yeah, it still hit our target, and that was a good day for us. I won't say any of like the amount that I made or lost. But yeah, that was the last day that I traded. Overall, it was a good experience. I think I learned a lot this week when it comes to looking at price action within the market. I will say I don't look at the news as much, but I do take it into consideration when trading.